from Brockton, right? Because I do things a little bit differently, but most importantly, I also plan on spending my adult life as a white male. Very funny, we're doing very well. I wore a suit tonight. I also wore a watch. That's kind of my litmus test for how much I trust someone, you know, is if they're wearing a watch. Like someone will be like, hey man, the stock market, it's going up and down, isn't it? And I'll go, is he wearing a watch? Nope. Bet you the stock market isn't doing anything. Anyways, you know, you love kids, right? Everyone loves kids. Kids are the future. No, not the future. What is it? Not the future. Kids are the worst. That's what I was thinking of. Kids are the worst. You know, and I used to be a student aide at a school, and at one time we brought the kids in. We had in the auditorium. We were having this like big assembly, and there was a cop and someone who did water safety. A cop and someone who did water safety, and the cop went up. And he just did his whole thing, you know, gotta do the whole, you're under arrest, or whatever the fuck he said. I wasn't listening. I was hungover. The only thing that I remember is that after the cop went up, he said, does anyone have any questions? And every single kid's hand shot up in that room. And he pointed to one kid and he said, one kid shot up, he said, yeah, what's your question? He said, have you ever shot anyone? And he said, no, I haven't, but that's a good question. Any other questions? Every single other hand shot up. Yes, you. Have you ever shot anyone? No, I haven't. Any other questions? Yeah, you. Have you ever shot? No, I have never shot anyone. Thank you. So then the guy who did the water safety came up and he said all the water safety things. You know, water is dangerous. It's scary. Difficult. It's something you have to respect. And he gave this like very impassioned speech about how children and anyone, adults, doesn't matter, you need to respect the water. And as soon as he got done, he said, does anyone have any questions? And a couple of hands shot up. He said, yeah, what's your question? He said, has he ever shot anyone? Fucking kids, man. You know, kids are like I said, they're not the worst. They're the devil. That's what I was looking for. They're the devil. And yeah, the one time I realized that children are the devil and it really wasn't their fault. You know, one time I do videography in my free time. This is my real job. And a bigger laugh happens. And I have the pleasure of videographying. We'll fix that in post. I had the chance of taking film of this professional wrestler. His name is Rick Savage. Right? He's a professional wrestler. And he was going around from school to school to school to talk about anti-bullying. And this was his whole thing. He was doing anti-bullying. And the night before, me and my buddy, who was my co-producer, we went to a show and we met him. We got brought on the show and they were like, yeah, you can meet Rick after the show. He was just there. Bring us back and we're like, okay, we're gonna just kind of get to know this guy. So we see him and he's about 8 feet tall and 500 pounds. And I go, hey, what do you plan on telling these kids? And he looks at both of us and he goes, yeah, no. Maybe I'll ask him, hey, you kids ever seen a MILF before? You got any pictures of your mom? What? So we leave and we drive to school the next day and we meet him and so we're like, yeah, so what are you going to talk about? He's like, you know, I'm just going to talk about bullying. We set up our cameras. He walks onto the stage. He's talking to a group of third graders, only third graders who are like, what, 9, 10 years old. And the guy who introduces him goes, you might know him from Spike TV. You know how third graders watch Spike TV. Rick Savage, everybody! And all the kids are like, who? And he walks out, just lumbers out, and he gets about 15 seconds in when he realizes that he has no plan as to what to say to the kids. Right before he came out on the stage, there was one very specific thing that the teachers and the guidance officer made sure that he knew, which was not to tell the kids that they are victims. That was the big thing, is don't call the kids victims. And about 15 seconds in, he says, "Are you a victim of bullying?" Come on, man. So he goes through, he riffs about 2 hours of bullying and how not to get bullied. You know how wrestlers know how not to get bullied. And the one thing that I really remember is at one point he said, "I need a volunteer. I need a volunteer." Sorry. "I need a volunteer." And surprisingly, no one raised their hands. And he goes, "I need a volunteer." And then a couple of hands shut up because people know when fear is in their eyes. And he walked up and he grabbed some third grader by the hand and he walked him down. And he said, "So right now, I'm standing right next to this kid. What's your name?" "James." "Standing right next to Jeremy right now. And right now, I'm not assaulting him, right?" Everyone goes, "Yeah, I guess." that's fine. He goes, "But if I do this right now," keep in mind, we are in a gymnasium full of teachers. He goes, "Right now, if I just hold my fist up to him, right now, I'm assaulting this child." Some of you are with me. A couple of you, I'm not sure. Oh boy. All right, we're just gonna take it from here. I'm gonna bring you your first comic up. I did what I could. Everyone, please put your hands together for Jim Dre, everybody.
Forte, how are we doing tonight? Woo! Well, let's give it up for your host, Jeremy Little. Guys, let's also give it up for the Forte for having us here tonight. I was expecting a little bit more for the Forte. Let's do it again, all right? Let's give it up for the Forte tonight. Yeah. Guys, make sure you guys take care of your bartenders and laugh at my jokes. Alright, so we're going to start off with my random jokes, because these random jokes have no place in my set list. But I enjoy telling them. So we're going to start off with these random jokes, okay? First off, I'm kind of feeling a little bit down today. Do you guys want to know why? Why? Thank you. She's like, yeah, I'll throw my vote, okay. Alright, because the thing is, when I was getting out of my car to come in here today, I noticed this little housefly flew out of my car. And like, you guys are probably like, why does that make you sad? It's because I know he's been in there since Salamanca. And like, I'm sure he was probably just in there for like the old McDonald's containers. But like, I can only imagine what's going through his head right now. Like, he's probably like, well, I guess this is where I live now. Sorry, I do a terrible fly impersonation. I'm working on it though, it's a work in progress. But like at the same time though, I don't feel that bad for flies because I feel like flies are like the biggest sex addicts out there. Like I don't know if you guys have ever seen two flies have sex. Like I'm not accusing you guys of like Googling it or nothing. Like I don't think you guys got on your phone and like checked on the internet, but like I don't know if you like stumbled upon it. Like you weren't peeking between bushes or nothing, you just like came across it, you know? And like there's this time, like I came up to these flies while they were doing it. Like I said, I wasn't hiding behind bushes, they were just there. And I come up with a fly swatter, and I'm getting ready to just end their existence, you know? And then they see me, and they fly away. But they continued to have sex. And that just blew my mind. Because like I couldn't imagine being in some kind of scenario where my life was in danger and I just kept having sex. You know, like I could be at like a girl's house, I'd be like upstairs in her room. Then all of a sudden I hear this coming up the stairs. The dad comes in the door, kicks it in, has a shotgun. Like I could never just be standing there and be like, that is my first random joke. Thank you for laughing at that. Second joke. This joke is so stupid, guys. It's like a forewarning joke. It's just so dumb, but I love to say it. You know, like I just want to be myself. So I don't know if you guys have ever like. I mean, I'm sure you guys have all been to a bank. You know, like have you ever noticed like how they have the height charts at the bank? It's so that like if people are to like rob them, like the least they can do is like get their height, you know? So I mean I don't think I would ever rob a bank, but I still walk in there every time like Yo, do you guys see that guy's face? No, but he shrinks very fast. If you see a shrinking man running around town, that's the one. All right, anyone here, I'm assuming there's people here in a relationship, married? That was like, nothing against your husband, that seemed like a very sad nod. If you're here against your will, just blink twice, right? How long have you guys been together for?
20 years.
20 years, oh, hey, congratulations, all right. So, I don't know if this is too personal, it's nothing. All right, when did you guys decide to move in with each other?
Oh, God. That was really quick. 4
Like-
months. Like 4 months?
Yeah, a few months.
Like before you guys were married?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Oh, all right. Like, I don't know how it worked with you, but like, I don't know, like, were you just like laying there someday, and you're just like staring at her, looking into her eyes, and just thinking to yourself, when the fuck did you move in with me?
Maybe why?
Yeah.
But no less.
It's just like sometimes they do that without you even noticing, you know? It's like, they're like squirrels in the wintertime just hiding clothes all around your house, you know, like burying their clothes. It's like, I mean, I get it though. I get why you just don't ask to move in. Because it's like, how do you word that? Like, hey, you know how like we drive each other nuts like all the time? Yeah. Wouldn't it be great if we could just never get away from each other? Like, I mean, there were some signs that I should have picked up on, you know? Like, for example, the one day I was like, hey, how about we go get some breakfast? And she's like, yeah, that sounds good, just, I gotta change my clothes. I was like, okay, so I'll swing you by your house, you know, you get to change your clothes, we'll go get breakfast. She comes out of the bathroom like 10 minutes later with a whole new outfit. Like, I mean, shirt, shoes, pants, everything. And I'm just like, let me take a look at that purse. Like, how big is that thing? We're gonna put a whole wardrobe in there. Are you telling me I've been buying snacks at movie theaters this whole time? When you can smuggle in a buffet? Yeah, another time too, there was a laundry basket in front of the washer. And I was like, oh, well, it must be her washer broke. She's probably doing her laundry here. And then she's like, hey, my dad's going to bring the dresser over later. I was like, it's just a basket of clothes. we can bring the basket to the dresser, you know? Let's think smarter and not work harder. You know, another problem, I'm going to go a little bit blue for a quick second. Another problem is girls always want like guys now to be sexual in the bedroom. Like I don't even know how. I know I can see by your face. You're like, how do they do that? Once again, nothing against your husband. I'm sure he does a great job. But I'm just like, how do you pull that off? Like, what do you want me to do? Like drag my ballsack across your face? Because that's not going to be sexy for anybody. I just helped your dad move your dresser. She's like, no, why don't you try like playing with yourself a little bit? said, playing with myself a little bit. Baby, there's nothing sexy about me playing with myself for 2 minutes and you cleaning it up for 5. That's a weird time to bring up Jesus. Oh boy. Have you ever had like a controlling, like, significant other? Like, have you ever had like someone accuse you of having sex that you never had sex with before? You know, like, they're like, oh, I know you had sex with that girl, and you have to be like, no, I didn't. Like, you know, I'm loving and faithful, I didn't do it, but like at the same time, like your inner bro in you want to be like, yeah, I did that. But, oh, this isn't a hype. Oh, this is serious. Okay. Like, I just don't get how you can accuse me of doing that, because like, I don't know if you guys, like, you know when you get in the shower and like you get in there and you turn the water on and the temperature is just not right, you know? So you stand to the side and you just play with it a little bit and you're just waiting for the water to just get like absolutely perfect. Like, that's like my same philosophy when it comes to talking to women. Like, I'll just stand next to them waiting for the right moment, you know? Like, my friends will be like, hey, come on, go talk to her. I'm like, no, wait for it. They're like, no, come on, just go say something. I'm like, wait for it. They're like, no, come on, you're gonna miss your chance. Hi, I'm Jim, how are you doing? Oh, that's your boyfriend? He seems nice. He seems like a nice guy, good for you. So no, I'm not having sex with these random girls, you know, and let alone shower sex with them, because I could never get the temperature right. You know, this is the type of girl, though, that thought, like, masturbating was cheating. You know, like, it's one of those girls, like, she thinks masturbating is cheating. So you have to, like, sit them down and be like, look, calm down, okay? It's only a photo. It's not like I would actually have sex with your sister. All right, okay. I will take that. You know, but she was like, you know, she was just really overprotective. Like, I mean, like, for example, like, she was like, oh, that girl won't stop looking at you. Like, well, I did just push her kid. She's probably afraid I might assault him again. She's like, yeah, well, when you walk by that girl, her eyes wouldn't stop following you. Yeah, well, I cropped to that one. For example, we were at Walmart one time, and she goes, all right, so we're in Walmart, we're grocery shopping, and I'm trying to get by this woman, so I say, excuse me. And she replies with the comment, you're fine. But the problem is, like, me and my girlfriend didn't hear things the same way. Like, what I heard was, you're fine, and what my girlfriend heard was, you are fine. And she immediately starts going off on me. She goes, Jim, do you know this girl? Have you had sex with this girl? Is she trying to get into your pants? I said, first off, I don't know every girl I've ever had sex with, okay? I'm going to stop right there. There's more than the joke, but that's good, okay. That's so people laugh are the ones that heard the rest of the joke. But all right, so another example is, I don't know, like, do you guys know where Allegheny, New York is? Yeah. Round of applause for Allegheny, New York, if you know where it's at. Yeah. You know where it's at. It's like the hot club in town. You guys know where Allegheny's at, right? You guys, so if you know where Allegheny's at, you probably know where Cuba, New York is, right?
Yeah,
All right, let's give it up for Cuba. Hell yeah, for Cuba, all right. He can feel pretty good for himself. So I used to work in Allegheny, and I lived in Cuba. So I'm getting out of work, it's around 9:30 at night, and I call up my girlfriend and I say, hey, I'm going to stop by the gas station, I'm going to buy us a 30-pack of beer, and we're just going to sit at home, relax, have a good night, drink a few beers. Like, that's what, like, that was my plan, you know, but things don't go always according to plan. See, what happened was, this gas station was running a promotion offer. With every purchase of a 30-pack, you also got a thing of Mardi Gras beads, because it was around Mardi Gras time. And so I don't think anything of it. I grab the beer, the beads, I throw it on the counter, the beads fall down next to the beer. And it's like, almost immediately after, my girlfriend comes storming out of the kitchen. And she goes, "Where the hell were you? Did you go to Mardi Gras? Like, who should you have to show your dick to get these beads?" And I was like, first off, I don't think you know how Mardi Gras works. If anything, you should be happy I came back with some beads. And so, like, I don't know, like, I had to break it down to her almost as if it was like a math problem, you know? I'm like back in school they teach you, I'm like, all right, so if your loving, faithful boyfriend is in location A, and he's traveling at approximately 35 miles an hour, gets to the gas station around 9:35, leaves the gas station at 9:35, gets on the highway, traveling about around 70 miles per hour, gets home at exactly 9:45. How many girls was your loving, faithful boyfriend able to show his dick to in that time? Well, the problem is she still didn't believe me, you know? Like, I don't know if you've ever had a controlling, significant other, but sometimes you have to call up like a family member, or you gotta call up a friend and just say, hey, like, I was at your house earlier today, right? Like, oh yeah, you were here, you know? If I had to call up a gas station so they could tell my girlfriend that she's crazy, I was like, hey, I don't know if you remember me. I was just in there a little bit ago. I had the Batman wallet. I bought a 30-pack, and she's like, okay, what's your point? I was like, are you guys running like a promotion right now where you get some Mardi Gras beads with the purchase of a 30-pack? She's like, why do you want to know? And so, well, this is embarrassing, but my girlfriend thinks I'm cheating on her. And she goes, oh, no, I'm so sorry. Yeah, we're running that promotion right now. I was like, okay, good. And I didn't have to like show you my dick to get these beads, right? And she's like, no, you definitely didn't have to do that. Like, we all thought it was really odd that you did. Anyone here ever date anyone with a kid? Yeah. Have you ever dated that person not knowing they had a kid? No. Yeah. See, it's an awkward situation, you know. Like, I was leaving her bedroom as the child was leaving their bedroom, and we met in front of the bathroom. And like, we've never seen each other before. We don't know what to say, you know. She's staring at me, I'm staring down at her. I didn't know what to say, so it's just like, this is why you lock your doors at night, kids. And then I robbed her. I was teaching her a valuable life lesson. I'm already a great father. Kids are a handful though. When I first got into Jamestown for the show tonight, I was actually driving down the street and I passed this kid that was sitting outside his house, and he had a toy gun in his hands. And this kid had the audacity to take 3 pretend shots at me. But I'm all for supporting a child's imagination. So I played dead and crashed into his house. It's crazy though. Kids nowadays, it's like they're young adults, you know, like they dress so provocative and stuff. I'm not even making a joke anyways. They dress so provocative. Like the other day I was standing outside the store and I see this girl walk out. And she has to be around 14 years old. And she's walking out, her tits are popping out of her shirt, her ass is falling out of her skirt. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, thank God that's not my daughter. Because this boner ring is so inappropriate. Man, just recall. I needed that joke though to set up this next joke. I had to say it. But I just don't get, kids are having sex at such a young age now, and I don't understand it, because I remember when I was that age, I was still trying to explain to my friends that I liked girls, you know, I still have to explain it to them now, but it's it was like the opposite of coming out of the closet, you know, we're all young, we believe in cooties and stuff, and I was like, oh, Jessica has cooties, and I'm like, oh, I'll tell you guys this, but I kind of like girls. See, no one believes me, that's why the joke never goes. Oh boy. But it's just at that age, I wouldn't even know how to do it, you know. Everyone remember the class project now? It's probably where your husband went like those sweet moves from, you know? But, like, I remember I was sitting there in Project No, and the teacher's like, okay, guys, this is, you know, the end of the class. If you guys have any questions, ask them now, forever hold your peace. And so I say, oh, yeah, I have a question, like, can a penis get stuck in a vagina? And like the teacher kind of laughed, the students kind of laughed. I kind of died inside. Thank God for Jared.
I've never heard that one.
You know, another thing you gotta be very careful now, though, with being single is there's so many different STDs out there nowadays, and you have to be so careful because you don't know who has them. You know, like I was talking to this girl, and we were just like about in the middle of like passionate lovemaking, and she leans over and she whispers in my ear, "I should probably tell you, I have herpes." I didn't think it was very funny at the time. And I didn't jump up though because like I didn't want to freak this girl out, you know. So like I just kind of like leaned over and I whispered in her ear, "I should probably tell you, you're gonna die alone." I was talking to this other girl and she starts telling me all these filthy places she's had sex. Like she's like, "I've had sex in an alley. I've had sex behind a dumpster. I've had sex in a Waffles bathroom." You been to a Waffles bathroom before, have you? Hopefully this joke's not about you. And so, you know how women are though, like during the conversation she just got a little off topic and she goes, "This raccoon bit my finger when I was at work today. Do you think I should get it checked?" If anything, that raccoon better go get himself checked. Because I definitely gave you herpes. And for the closer, they're probably going to show today. Alright, like I don't give off the wrong impression though. Like I can be a very kinky person. Like I know like STDs scare me and stuff, but I can get kinky, you know. A couple of things I learned in Project Now. I like ladies. But I mean, for example, like I've actually been in an orgy one time. Well, were you there? Like, she's like, "Oh, geez, I know, it was horrible." Everyone was crying for some reason. But no, I've actually been in an orgy one time, and by orgy, I mean I got lost in a hall of mirrors. I jerked off for about 20 minutes and someone came and found me. All right, guys, I am Jim Drain. Thank you very much.
Keep it going for Jim Drain, everybody! Oh my gosh. I haven't had that much sex since, I don't know, I heard his set. Yeah, I'm in a relationship. We developed a really good way of when we're in a fight. We kind of developed a way to kind of get over the fight. What we did is we bought an L-shaped couch. You guys know what L-shaped couch is? Give it up for L-shaped couches! Come on, L-shaped couches. So now what we do? Anytime we get in a fight, she'll say to me, "You know what? You're sleeping on the couch." And I'm sleeping on the other part of the couch. It's great. We got it from Raymore and Flanagan's. We all know Raymore and Flanagan's. I went there the other day. I realized that the same thing, what they say, where you shouldn't grocery shop when you're hungry, you shouldn't furniture shop when you're sleepy. I bought 7 sofas. Your shopping carts are enormous. Everyone, please give it up for your next comic, the very funny M.W. Barrick.
Sorry about that, guys. I'm just really thirsty. Really thirsty. You're in for a treat tonight because I am one of the 37 million fat white comics that exist in today's society. But I do things a little differently because I don't know if you noticed, I have a handlebar mustache. That's it. That's the only difference. And having a handlebar mustache, you have to deal with a lot of questions. People ask you weird things. They're like, "Did that take a long time to grow?" Or they'll be like, "Don't you feel kind of goofy wearing that all the time?" And they'll be like, "Will you please stop trying to steal my girlfriend and tired of the train tracks?" But it's kind of cool. I like to think it makes me look classy and distinguished. But deep down inside, I really know that I just look like a fatter version of the villain from Dudley Do-Right. That's me. So how are we all doing tonight? Give it up for Forte, huh? How about that? And the future and past comics that have performed so far tonight. Give it up for them. And they're enjoying it. It is February. I don't know if you guys knew that. It's still February. And there's a lot of things that happen in February. Like my birthday, for example. I just turned 27. That's a big thing for me. But there's other things in February, like Valentine's Day. And Valentine's Day is different because it reminds everybody that either you're single or you have a girlfriend or that fucking ex-girlfriend that cheated on you. No, that was just a joke. They don't cheat on me. No, so there's a lot of things in February though. Like there's this thing that I like to call a mattress sale holiday, which is President's Day. A mattress sale holiday. That's pretty great. I just feel like they're gonna start getting creative with the commercials. Next thing you know, you're gonna see like a guy dressed up as Donald Trump, and he's gonna be up there. He's gonna be like, "We're gonna make you sleep great again." But there's a lot of like mattress sale holidays throughout the year. Like Martin Luther King Day to me is a mattress sale holiday, and the commercial for that one is gonna be I had a dream, and hopefully you will too after you buy this mattress, because these people are sharks. They're shitty people. And the last real big one for me for mattress sale holidays is Columbus Day. Columbus Day is a mattress sale holiday, and it's inspiring to me because I haven't done this yet, but I plan on this year for a Columbus Day mattress sale. I'm just going to go into Raymore and Flanagan and just like take over the store, say that God told me to do it. In about 150 years, they're going to write it in textbooks and call it Mattress Fest Destiny. It's going to be beautiful. The other big thing for me in February is Groundhog's Day. And there's two popular groundhogs around here. And it all started with Puxatawny Phil. And then Dunkirk Dave came along, but I feel like they're related. They're probably like closely related. And I think that Dunkirk Dave was originally from Puxatawny, but he had to move for work purposes. Yeah, Phil already had a stranglehold on the underground meteorology market, so Dave had to go do his own thing. But Dave has lakefront property. He won that deal. But like I said, I just turned 27. And it reminded me of when I was younger. Like, I kind of feel bad because I gave my parents an attitude a lot. They'd ask me to do things. They'd be like, "Come on, will you take out the garbage?" And they'd be like, "Will you do the dishes?" And I'd be like, "God, I hate you. Get out of my room." And they'd be like, "You're 25. Get a fucking job." But growing up with my parents was a little different. You know, they were a little bit older, so we played different games than most kids. Like, I don't know if you ever heard of this game. It's called Remote. It's where I get slapped in the back of the head and I change the channel. We also played a game which I commonly refer to as Beer, which I don't know if you've heard of Remote, but it's very similar. You get slapped in the head, you get up and you go and grab a beer. And that's why I don't really want to have kids. which is kind of funny because I almost had a child once, but the police caught me as I was leaving a daycare. Oh, yeah. And a little bit about myself. I'm pro-life, but I'm also pro-gun, or I'm pro-choice, but I'm also pro-gun. Not for any religious purposes or anything, I just really like to confuse people. Moving along, speaking of pro-choice and whatever, you know. I was at an STD clinic the other day waiting to get tested, and a little bit of irony happened. My phone started running its antivirus. It turns out I'm clean, but my phone has hepatitis. It's probably from all the unprotected phone sex. I'm just really happy I don't have hearing aids. Moving along, they say that laughter is the best medicine, but I don't really believe that because the girl that gave me chlamydia still has it. That's a small dick joke. I quit smoking recently. I figured out the easiest way to quit smoking is I could only smoke a cigarette after I had sex. So I was smoke-free for a year and a half. Which is, it's weird because, believe it or not, I find it hard to keep a girlfriend. You know, if it's not one thing, it's another. It's not the right time in our lives, or we're not connecting, or she slips the handcuffs and breaks out of my basement. I just don't get it. I did have a girlfriend for a while, and it was a really good relationship, you know. We always got along. We never fought. Until I found out if she's inflatable and plastic, she's not really considered a girlfriend. But that didn't stop her from cheating on me. But a bright spot in my life, I met this girl recently, and she has this thing about her that I find irresistible. She has a vagina. This thing's getting pretty serious. I lied to you guys earlier, I did quit smoking, but I recently picked up my smoking habit again. It's because I'm having sex.
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught that, that's where I was going with that. Yeah, give it a clap for my sex life, how about that? I moved in with her, and she has a dog. She got mad at me the one day for yelling at the dog, and I had to tell her, I was like, look, I'm not yelling at the dog, I'm just taking a stern voice with the dog like my father did with me. Alright? And let me tell you, I've never once shit on the floor. I always let her know when I have to go outside. She's really good about it. But she likes to like spice things up in our sex life that I was talking about that I have. That's a thing, my sex life. She likes to spice things up, and the other day she said to me, she's like, I want you to clean my pussy. And that was really confusing to me. I didn't know what she meant. All I could think of was when the Pilgrims landed on Plymouth Rock. So tonight, I'm going to get really kinky and slaughter everyone that was there before me. I might give them smallpox, I don't know yet. But she was in the shower and she was doing some yard trimming. She's like, well, what do you want me to shave down there? So I told her I was like a swastika. Because I'm going to commit genocide on her pussy. You guys like that at the side of the room? You guys enjoying that? Yeah. I'm just going to keep doing them. So
It doesn't matter, it's your show.
Oh, well, thank you. It's very kind of you, it is. She said something to me the other day. She was walking around the house and she's like, babe, I can't find my bra. I was like, you don't need a bra, I'm the only support you need. And then I slapped her and told her cooking sucked because I don't want her to get cocky. It's a domestic violence joke. I think I'm getting old though, like old and cantankerous, because I swear it's like every day that I I wake up and I see someone and I'm just like, you know, I wish you would die. I should really quit looking in the mirror. Oh. And thinking about it now, like when I was little, I used to swear a lot and my mom would put palm olive in my mouth. But if I had known that this is how my life was going to turn out, I would have tried harder for the Tide Pods. My mom, though, she's different, you know. She says to me, she's like, you know, Mike, life's a bitch, and then you marry one. I was like, Mom, do you realize you just called yourself a bitch? And without even thinking about it, she slapped me upside the head and I went and grabbed her a beer. It was a really confusing childhood. A lot of people tell me I have a drinking problem, but I don't really understand it. I never have a problem with drinking. It's just when I wake up and I realize it's a problem. It's a problem for me because I feel it. So I drink other things other than alcohol, believe it or not. I drink a lot of Arizona tea. I like Arizona tea. And it's really exciting for me because I found out it contains trace amounts of urine, which is great for my fetish. Anyway, so I decided recently that I'm going to quit drinking. Like a half hour ago, I decided I should sober up before I came out here. I heard the other day someone was telling me, they're like, you know, Mike, cleanliness is next to godliness. But I'm an atheist, so that's probably why my life's a fucking mess. Anyway, back to the drinking. I was at a party the other night and I was drinking. I decided I was going to drive home, and then I realized that was a bad idea. So I decided I'd let Jesus take the wheel. Turns out he was more drunk than I was. That fucker drove me right into a ditch. I guess that's what I get for trusting the guy that turns water into wine. And that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much.
Keep it going one more time for M.W. Barry, everybody.
Oh man, I've been reading the crowd, trying to read the crowd. Don't you hate it when your grandkids don't call? That's not funny, someone said. You know, I know, I'm not gay, but my voice is definitely bisexual. You know, regardless of that, if I had a nickel for every dick I've sucked, I'd have 3 nickels. Everyone please get up for one of my best friends in the whole world. Please put your hands together for Paul Clemente!
What's happening, guys? My name is Paul Clemente. I am 1/4 of your local comedy group, Karate Sleepover. I see we have the Pulse Poetry team in the house. They're competing tomorrow. That's you guys. You can make noise. This is your part of the show. They're competing tomorrow against other national poets. I don't know what that means. Like, I envision like Mortal Kombat style stuff going on. But they will be competing tomorrow against national poets, and that's really fucking cool. So, I'm going to start off my set a little controversial. That's not who I am, but I had a great debate today. The worst Skittle is orange. The second best Second worst Skittle is yellow, then green, then red, then purple. That's it. That's what I have. So this weekend, I just had this really weird weekend. I went to Erie, and my kids really love Eden Park because they like the cooking. And I went up to the salad bar. That's not the joke. I went up to the salad bar, and I'm shoulder to shoulder with a lady. We're both enjoying our lettuce. And for whatever weird reason, she was down getting lettuce, and I thought she wanted to tell me a secret. So I leaned in, ear to ear, like this. And we touched ears, and she jumped a mile. And at this point, I could have said anything. I had a lot of choices. And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had a secret for me." And she just looks at me and she goes, "No." That's a true story. That's an absolutely true story. Do you guys want to hear another weird experience? It's probably one of the most weirdest experiences I've ever had in my entire life. Entire life. It involves a bachelor party. It involves Kennedy, New York. You guys ever been to Kennedy, New York?
Yeah.
I'm really surprised because there's nothing there. What brings people to Kennedy, New York? I was at a bachelor party. I was new to town. This is all the way back in the year 2001. I know I'm old. I know. Don't look at me that way. I get it. Who's over 30 in this audience? Anyone over 30?
Yeah, I wonder.
You guys? Did you guys know you're older than every dog on the planet Earth right now? That's a true fact. If you're over 30, you're older than every dog on the planet Earth.
And how close are you to 30?
In regular. I am way over 30. I'm not going to divulge. I'll tell you later, and please pretend you're surprised. So this is 2001. I was bartending, and I didn't know anybody. I just moved here from Pittsburgh. I didn't know anyone, and my friend's boss was getting married, and I was the bartender for their wedding. And they said, "You know what, Paul? You don't know too many people. Come on up, have a good time. You'll be a guest. You'll get to know everyone. You'll have a great time." Sure, I'm a social guy. So I go all the way out to Kennedy, New York. I pull in next to other cars. I was the only car there. Just a line of trucks. That wasn't a good sign. And I'm walking past these trucks, and I see things like kick their ass, take their gas. Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes was pissing on every single car logo. Chevy, Ford, Dodge. He was indiscriminate. He was just pissing on everything. I saw this. This is terrible. It said, "Like guns, hate fags, love Bush." This is the type of place I was heading into. And I walked in, and I saw everyone, and he gave you that look. I wasn't dressed like this, but I had sleeves, and that threw them all off. They didn't know what to do with me. And I got there, and I tried to be social, and these guys were so, just from the bumper stickers and putting the clues together, I realized we weren't gonna connect. And we got there, and they didn't know how to do drinking games. That was the first thing I noticed. I got there, and a guy gave me a bottle of Early Times whiskey, which is like a generic version of Jack Daniels. And he goes, "Here you go! Whoa!" That was his drinking game. So I'm holding this bottle of whiskey. I'm like, cool, I guess I won. And I get to the keg and I pour myself a beer, and a guy comes up and he goes, "Drink!" All right, that's what I was gonna do. So I have a beer and I have the whiskey, and I'm walking by a card game. And I'm like, this is social, I play cards. And they were playing some weird game until I realized I connected the dots. They're just flipping cards. And every time a black card came up, they booed and drank. So this is the horrible environment I'm in. And so I'm by the bonfire. We're outside, and I'm drinking my Early Times whiskey. I'm enjoying my beer, and I'm trying to socialize. I'm trying to talk to these people. I'm trying to find something to connect the dots and just enjoy my night. And they're talking about the movie Lonesome Dove. It was over my head, but I was still kind of engaged in it, and I'm trying to find anything I can jump in and just enjoy the conversation. And out of the blue, a guy goes, "Hey, you guys ever jerk off in the hunting cabin?" Immediately, he's yeah. This is the thing that happens, I guess. Yeah. And he goes, "Like with other people inside of it?" And I was like, yeah. He goes, "Is that gay?" And keep in mind, this is 2001. Terrorists weren't on really the forefront, the tippy top of people's brains. So rednecks weren't as afraid of terrorism as they were afraid of being gay. That was the worst fear in 2001. But I'll assure you, jerking off in a hunting cabin with other human beings inside of it, not gay. And so they started thinking of things that were gay. And they go, "Well, I see you drinking light beer there. That's kind of gay. You know what? I saw you driving in here with a seatbelt. That's kind of gay. You know what? When we're watching the game, I saw you had a surge protector in your house. That's kind of gay. Oh yeah, we went for lunch at Subway, and you ordered extra mayonnaise. That's kind of gay." And I'm watching this go back and forth, and everyone's so insecure, and they're like, "Oh my God, I can't possibly be emasculated in front of all these other guys." And I'm laughing, and they go, "Hey, you there, I see you got a little shit in your hair. That's kind of gay." And I'm like, "No, I just didn't take a shower. I was so afraid of being just singled out. I was like, I just didn't take a shower. I'm sorry." So it came to the time where it was ready for the strippers. And everyone was waiting for the father-in-law to go. That was a big thing. They were kind of ushering him out so we can get the strippers going. "Isn't it kind of late? You gotta go. And they eventually I don't know, around midnight, they got them going. Once those taillights disappeared into the distance, they were so excited that strippers were coming. About 10 minutes later, we heard through the grapevine, what's happening?
How's it going?
Good, man.
All right.
Thanks for joining us.
It's way different.
Is it? Way different than what?
Let's go.
All right, let's fucking go. Should I start over? Fuck yeah, let's go. So we found out there was no strippers.
No strippers.
Everyone was really sad.
Yeah, that's a bad thing.
And then we had a hero emerge from all the horrible homophobia. And he goes, guys, let me make a phone call. I don't know if that's cool or terrible that you can make a call and have ladies with no self-esteem come flying up on demand to entertain a bunch of narrow-minded idiots.
They all got scared, didn't they?
We do. So 10 minutes later, this caravan comes up, and it looks like Cousin Eddie's van from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation comes rattling up through the woods and stops. I was the only one concerned that this van, looking like this, came into our little campsite of hatred. And these women came out, and they were in their probably 50s. And I'll tell you what, I'm not harping on age. I've seen beautiful women in their 50s. But these women were not normal women. They were the women that can be summoned by a cell phone at any time of the night for a bachelor party. And they came out, and it was terrible. And I know the metaphor of fried eggs on a nail is a little played out. You guys probably heard this before, but there was no better description I can use to describe these women to you. And they came out, and they started soliciting everyone. And someone said, you know, if you want to go back in a trailer with them, give them what you think that they are worth and give it to the groom. Everyone was so excited. They were so excited. And I'm like, is everyone seeing the same thing I am seeing here? So I cut myself loose. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go back to the campfire. I'm going to see how gay my shoes are. And I'm going to relax and let this play out. And I would think for 1 second that everyone else saw the same thing that I did and just kind of laugh with me about how absurd the situation is. I was wrong. This guy comes out of the trailer with his greasy ponytail, his teeth like a November jack-o'-lantern. And he goes, hey, you don't want in on this action? No. What are you?
Campfire?
What are you? Gay? No. And he goes, you know what? One of them likes your hair. And you know what? If you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable, the blonde one, that's my wife. She will take fantastic care of you. That was a hard pass. So I sit down and I see these guys line up outside of this trailer, going in one at a time. Everyone's so afraid to be called gay. They're going in there and having just gross Waffle House sex inside of this trailer. And some of these guys are running out and coming back in like kids like waiting for the bumper cars. They just get off the bumper cars and they just go right back in line. They're like, I can't wait. And they were so excited to have this happen. And I sat there and I drank my bottle of whiskey and I watched this happen. I just thought I was on a different planet. I couldn't believe it. And my best friend at the time that was there, he was waiting in line, and he just kind of kept looking back at me and looking back at me. Just got to shrug him on. I can't tell him how to live. And he goes in there, and he comes back out, and he sits down next to me, and he reaches for my bottle of whiskey. I say, no, I know where your mouth has been. No, thank you. That's what I felt too. Oh, exactly. Hell no. And he goes, you're not going to tell anyone I did this, did you? Nah, man. I'm not. I kind of didn't use anything when I went in there. That's on you, man. I can't tell you how to live. I can't tell you how to... Absolutely. Exactly. And then he goes, well, when I was in there, I saw my boss next to me banging this girl, and I saw his dick. Is that gay? Absolutely, it's gay. Enjoy the rest of your life as a gay man. Thank you guys so much for coming tonight. I appreciate every single one of you. Have a good night.
Keep it going for Paul Clemente, everybody. Keep it going for him. Woo! Very funny. We got one more comedian for you. I've got one thing just to say to you guys. You know, I'm kind of a entrepreneur, if you're French. Yeah, at the end of the show, you know, if you want to invest in any of these ideas that I have, just come up to me and let me know. The first one, it really what it does is that it takes the comedy that you like, and it will just kind of like preface it down into the different genres of it. It's called Joy Division. It's an incredibly specific joke that I wrote just for Paul, so if you didn't laugh, don't worry. The other one, it's a company that sells flogs for Catholics who practice self-flagellation. Right? It's called Miracle Whip. I like that pity laugh I got you back. And the last one, it's a company that sells crucifix-shaped skis. It's called Cross Country. Everyone, please put your hands together for the very funny, the illustrious Kip Reynolds, everybody!
I've got no other thing to do. I'm just gonna run around like I've won on Price is Right. Like I've just been calling, woo, yeah, $1! Like a cop out. I'm really happy to be here at Edgeworth. I've been reading it all night. I don't know what it means. Forte. Oh, I know French. That's French for fort. If anybody knows their French like I do, I guess this could be a fort. I mean, it's named after the French, so first of all, we do a really good job in the American Revolution. The French is the only reason we won that war, if you don't know history. Secondly, I feel like a cannon could be placed right here. I feel like that's a good amount of space for a cannon. So I think we're pretty safe in Forte. I really like it. I don't know why they went with French. We speak English here, I think. Is it English? Yeah. Okay, it's English. Yeah, so I'm really happy to be at Forte. There's lots of stuff going on, everyone. Let's cut into current events. No, it's not. It's pretty bad. The most we can do in our lives is just be the best versions of ourselves that we can possibly be. This is something that it's tough, it's challenging, and it's one of the things that I'm working on right now. I tried to stay off of Facebook. I mean, anybody who's been on Facebook recently, it's just maddening, inducing. It's so bad. So I could really try and stay off of that and keep positive. I spend more time with my kids, you know, and cherish their lives. Yeah, it's good. I eat better. I started eating better, which, you know, you feel a little bit better. I started exercising, which is no fun. It's bullshit, but yeah, clapping is a form of exercising. That's you know, meditating. Meditation's really healthy. I've only run into one block so far. One thing that's preventing me from that, and it's literally I haven't done any of those fucking things. I've tried. I mean, the second I'm like, no, I'm done with Facebook, I get roped into some stupid fucking argument, and I'm like, oh, god damn it, you're so wrong, and here's the link to prove it, and let me Google it. You know what, I'm gonna take a breath, I'm gonna do and just get mad. With your kids, the kids, I don't know how many of you have kids. I don't really give a shit because it takes too long to take a poll, and I'm not gonna keep track of it, but kids represent the best and worst of humanity at every given moment. So you can try and appreciate that time, but there is a little slice of you that is just going to have problems.
But they're still smarter than you are.
That's absolutely true. In fact, I would say that the national population of short people is much smarter than me if they are under the age of 5. Meditation is the only thing that I've really found myself doing, and it's really interesting because when you meditate, you know, when they first tell you, you hear meditation and you think, you know, this is one of those things where it's like, clear your mind, get out all the negative thoughts, bring in the inner positive energy, which is all bullshit. That's not actual meditation. Meditation is all about just being aware of your own thoughts and what's going on. And this can be difficult to do. You know, it's also a really great way to take an uncomfortable nap. So if you've ever wanted to take an uncomfortable nap, I highly recommend meditation. One of the things I noticed is that my inner monologue is super fucking obnoxious when I'm trying to meditate, because I just sit there and I start taking deep breaths. Okay. Hey, cat! What in monologue? You're boring. I know, let's not talk about my stand-up bit right now. I'm talking about this, the meditation. Do something, you're boring me. I'm not gonna do that, I'm just paying attention to what you're doing. Throw a shoe against the wall. Why would I do that, first of all? Secondly, no, I'm not doing that. You're just trying to distract me. Hey, Cam. What? Let's think about all the big problems in the world and never solve any single one of them. That doesn't sound like, that sounds like a normal Tuesday. I'm not doing that. Hey, Cap. What? Boobs! Look at this pair of boobies! I'm no longer 15. I can rise above that. Hey, Cap. What? Here's the bottom half. Oh, there got a magic set. No, you're not distracting me. I'm gonna meditate. This is what I'm doing. Hey, Cap. What? I'm a boo. You're not a baby. You're not a real baby. You're a pretend baby. You're just trying to throw me off. Hey, Cap. What? Okay, I'm out. I can't do it. I can't meditate anymore. I am done. You win, inner voice. And you know, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to live in this lifestyle. Anybody married? Okay. Marriage is tough. You know, after a while, you gotta learn a couple tricks to keep things going. And one of the tricks, nobody tells you this. You just kind of have to learn it on your own. That one of the secrets to a successful marriage is once in a while you gotta get kinky. After a while in the marriage, the kink comes out, and you really, you know, it's okay. It's okay to let the kink out. Like, I shouldn't be telling you this. Okay, I will. I had a really successful Valentine's Day. I finished a beautiful dinner for my wife. I made it all myself. It was a fillet of spam, almond encrusted, and a ketchup reduction. I'm not even gonna lie, it was a mean spam fillet. And we finished all of it. Some mac and cheese garnish. Which, if you don't know what that is, it's you make a whole pot of mac and cheese and you throw out 99% of it and just save 2 macaroni. I don't know if you knew what that was, Paul. I'm here to teach you. So I had spread all the way from the kitchen to the bedroom this beautiful row of flower petals. Flower petals are poison ivy. Which is the one that gives you the rash? Poison ivy? Alright. So, I mean, it was romantic until the rashes broke out, but so we followed this romantic path of poison ivy petals all the way up to our boudoir, which is another French word. I don't know what it stands for. I don't think anybody does. So we go up to the bedroom, and my wife had found that I had replaced a queen-size mattress with a waterbed. And then I took all the water out. And I replaced it with chocolate pudding. Now I know what you're thinking. Why not tapioca? Well, simply put, tapioca is horse shit. I don't stand for tapioca. So we get on to our chocolate pudding bed. And I cue up the music. I had hired a local mariachi band. And they were playing all the hits. And so the mariachi band's going. We're on the chocolate pudding bed. And that's when we started playing the longest, most romantic game of Connect 4. Sometimes she was on top, sometimes I was on top, but either way, we reset the board and played again. Connect 4 joke. Hasbro. So it's about that. And the other thing I learned about marriage is that you can't sweat the small stuff. The little things that get in your every way, don't sweat the small things. You gotta let them go. So one of the things that my wife started working on with me, we all have pet peeves. One of the things is I leave the socks kind of away from the hamper, because by the time I'm done, like when I'm ready to take off the socks, I'm ready to take them off, but I'm not ready to do anything with them. So they just kind of stay on the floor, and it's something she's gotten used to, and it's something she, can appreciate. With her, it's just two small things. One is like she makes the sound with the silverware against like when you bite a fork. I don't know if you know that sound. It's really, I don't know. It's one of those little like scraping it against ceramics and stuff. So I just try and understand and try and let it go. And the other thing, and this is a little bit harder for me to let go of, is that she's just, and it's a little thing, she's a really sloppy murderer. When she murders a person, she gets blood all over the fucking place. And I'm just like, can you please, just for once, watch Dexter. Watch one episode of Dexter. Can you invest in some tarps, some duct tape, and just clean the shit up? I'll do it the way I want. Okay. All right, you murder in your way. Just, you gotta let go of the small stuff. So, I have a really bad reputation for lying to audiences. I don't know where I got this reputation. It's totally untrue. Okay, it's true. No, it's not true. But if it were, I would have convinced my audiences of a lot of things. One of the things I convinced them of recently was that I had been to the moon. Which, of course, is impossible. I have not been to the moon. I would love to go to the moon, but I have not been there. I did not land on the moon. I did not walk on the moon. I was orbiting the rover that was going around the moon when Neil Armstrong landed, and helped him with his speech. And he, to be honest, and I don't mean to blow Neil up, but he kind of fucked up his speech. It was supposed to be one jolly leap for all Homo sapiens, but whatever. He did all right. He did okay. The other lie that I convinced an audience of is that I taught an entire gaggle of seals how to sing, and it's just so preposterous. Seals cannot sing. That's stupid. I got a bunch of marmosets to hum, though. When the Saints Come Marching In, it took us a couple weeks. They did really good. I mean, at first it was a little rough, but they got there. Probably the biggest line that I've ever told an audience, though, the big one, and I'm ashamed to admit this, is that I convinced them that I hate Velveeta cheese. I love Velveeta cheese. Don't look at the table of contents. You're just going to be disappointed. Just get the box and ask it to do something. Velveeta cheese, be a soup for me. Boom, it's a soup. Be some macaroni and cheese. Boom, a macaroni. I melt it all over. I make your produce taste better. Boom, be a melt. Bam, I'm a melt. What else do you wish of me? Velveeta cheese is amazing. But I'm sorry that I lied to my audience for so many years. And I promise from this point out, I'm not going to lie anymore. I promise I'm going to keep things on the up and up. That is my solemn vow to you. Thank you. I did bring a friend with me tonight named Gus.
Oh shit!
So you get two ridiculous bits for the price of one. But one thing before I go, and this is, I don't want to lie anymore, this is a completely true story. 2 weeks ago, I was up on the International Space Station. I was doing some space work, and I space swam out to a space satellite that I was space working on. And I took my space wrench out of my space pouch, and I started space working. And I'm looking down upon the Earth, this beautiful blue orb, just hanging out underneath me. And I didn't see any borders, I didn't see any people, I didn't see any politics, I didn't see any bullshit. It was just beauty, this beautiful little snow globe. And I thought to myself, in that moment, I had this epiphany. The very reason, the very purpose, the soul, and the essence for the reason it's called pancakes is that they're cakes. They're made in a pan. That should have been the sound of my mind exploding, but instead I had accidentally brushed my space wrench against my spacesuit. And that was the pressure. But anyways, I'm done lying. I would like to introduce you to Gus. He's a little nervous. Here it is.
Gus! 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 Gus!
Alright, who's ready to rock? Woo! Is everybody ready to rock? I had a pet rocket and died because I didn't feed it anything.
Yeah!
It's in tune, alright. Anybody's ever seen my aunt house? I'm famous for one thing and one thing only, and that's crowd work. So I'd like to start off with a joke. Is anybody in here Europeans? If you're European, there's a bathroom right over there. Don't do it, you sicko. Alright, enough for icebreakers. I like to do some crowd work in which I compliment my audience, because I think the other way is mean to do. You there, you folks over there, you have nice smiles and you look like you're having a pleasant evening. Even though this humor isn't quite for you, sometimes you just gotta kind of carry on, you're doing great. You guys, alright, there's enough for crowd work. I'd like to start off with one thing that I've studied from all the greats, and that's to tell an anecdote about myself. I sweat profusely. I ate a whole package of cottage cheese, and I'm allergic to deodorant. I like to make myself vulnerable because they tell me it bonds me with the audience. I'm feeling quite vulnerable right now. Alright, I want to sing a song for you that my mom used to sing for me when she was slapping me across the trachea with a tape measure. Good memories. It's a classic song. Sing along if you know it. Go, please leave me alone and don't talk to me ever again. Can't you tell I'm an introvert? God damn it, I always forget the first verse. I'll play the interlude again. I got it. I rhyme at the party and I did my job. I'm supposed to be happy, but I'd rather be dead. My hands start to feel. I develop a stammer. Please, someone hit me with a sledgehammer. Please just leave me alone. Please just leave me alone. I just want to go home. Please just leave me alone. I stare at the phone, avoiding their gaze. Eyes! I stare at the phone, avoiding their eyes. Oh no, here they come. I'll try not to cry. Hey,
me. Third verse. Why isn't my name on their birthday cake? You blew out the candles, I know they're fake. Oh no, everyone's singing at me. Don't you all have somewhere to be? Please let me alone. I want to go home. Please leave me alone. Please let me out. I don't need to shout. Next time use a phone. That's not how it goes. Please don't leave me alone. All right, that's the end of my song. Thanks, Forte.
Is that it?
Is that it, Gus?
Pretty good.
Gus is back up.
Everyone, let me hear the sound of let me hear the sound of like, I don't know, 45 hands clapping. Okay, give it up for yourselves for coming out and support local comedy. Keep it going for me, Jim Drain, M.W. Barrick, the illustrious Paul Clemente, and who can forget Kip Reynolds? Come on, with glasses like that. Thank you guys so much for coming out. We really, really appreciate it. Keep coming, shit like this. You know, this isn't, it's fun for us, but like, you know, we're trying hard, really hard. And we really appreciate that you guys came, so, woo! I hope you guys have a fantastic evening.
Is it over?
Give it up for yourselves. Give it up for Dylan.